Hi, this is an introduction to a series of videos that I'm in the process of making on personal sovereignty. I say personal sovereignty quite deliberately because the word sovereignty can also mean, for instance, the supreme power of the state, and that I'm not interested in. So from now on, if I say the word sovereignty, I am referring to personal sovereignty. Right, what is it for a start? Well, at its core, I would say it's very similar, if not pretty much identical, to Carl Jung's concept of individuation. And I will be talking about that in one of the videos that I'm making. But for the moment, it is basically about knowing ourselves. Individuation is about who am I? Are the thoughts that I have, to an extent, the feelings that I have, the beliefs that I have, are they mine? Where do they come from? How are they formed? And of course, they can be very much influenced by any number of things. One being the unconscious. So we carry around a whole lot of stuff, don't we? And some of it is from past events. Could be trauma, but it doesn't need to be. It could be just relationships, life events, programming. And you might say, oh, I haven't been programmed. But if you went to school, yes, you have. Because there's not necessarily anything malicious about it, but school not only taught us certain kinds of information, but it also taught us how to behave, didn't it? How to sit, when to stand, when to speak, how to speak, and so on and so forth. And so the majority of us are just sort of ingested at and don't really notice that to what degree it might be informing all those things, what we believe, what we think, how we behave, and so on. So there's all that. And then if you do, that's enough. But if you, like me, work with energy and spirit, then on top of that, there's also ancestral stuff, which we carry literally in our cells. So that may also be having an influence, and that can be unpicked, as well as, it's generally accepted that we can work with the unconscious, right, and make stuff be more conscious and therefore make choices about it. But the ancestral stuff can also be unpicked, as can past life stuff. So whether you believe in that or not, the unconscious is already something quite hefty. And then there's, of course, the environments we live in. We are influenced by our communities. How could we not be? And it depends on who we are, as to how exactly that manifests. It could be a wish to conform, a wish to be accepted, a wish to be liked, a wish not to stick out, or it could be a wish to be seen as different. And there's the immediate experience of that. And then, of course, there's the historical memory, the ancestral memory, maybe, of that there was a time, and maybe there still is in some communities, when it is very important for our actual survival to be accepted as a member of our communities. So there's that, and that influences certainly how we behave, but most likely also what we think and what we believe, and so on. I'm not sure, I can't remember if this actually been proven or not, but I have some sort of sense that it has, that if you take somebody and tell them enough times that blue is green, they will start to see, well, something that's even more different, say blue is red, then eventually they will see it that way. So communities influence us. And then there's the sort of the meta community, isn't it? There's our governments, the stuff that we're exposed to more indirectly, as in through a medium, whether that is paper, screen, whatever. We listen to the radio, perhaps we read newspapers, we see stuff on social media, and we're told all the time in various different ways, even through entertainment. Even films contain a lot of moral codes about what is correct, what isn't correct, what's good, what's bad, and they teach us all the time about those things. On top of that, now this isn't brand new, but it's become very starkly apparent over the past few years, but we're being given very direct messages about what we should be doing, what we should be believing, what we should not be questioning. And of course, that all has an influence. The point of sovereignty is to be aware of what those influences are and to be able to choose. Do I actually think that what I'm being told here, whether it's by a person, a community, some sort of government official, do I actually believe that and think, yeah, okay, from a really conscious level, that is something that I am on board with, and yes, fine? Or do we just go along with it because we're not really aware of all those multiple influences that are just sort of telling us to don't question, just believe, just carry on. And this actually has got nothing to do with what any one of us believe about what has been going on over the past few years. The point is that, so I'll put it in another words, I am not trying to tell anybody to believe anything in particular. What I'm trying to say is that it's really important for us to get to the place where we know what it is that we believe. We know that the decisions we are making are based on our own core beliefs, sort of untangled from any other kind of influences that we are not aware of. Okay, that is sovereignty. That is personal sovereignty. That is individuation, knowing who we are and knowing why we are doing this, knowing why we are responding to this situation in this particular way. And let's face it, no one's going to be in that state all of the time. But for most of the time, that is the ideal situation to be in as a human being living right now, from my point of view. And that is why I've put together, or I'm in the process of putting together, these videos. And they are all to do with helping us. And actually, I include myself, even though I'm making them, I'm learning through doing them, helping us become more aware in different ways, but more aware always of all this stuff, of stuff that is influencing us, of ways that we can become clearer on what are our core values are, and to make clear decisions. Some are quite simple tools, like for instance, I've already recorded, and I'll put that up quite soon, maybe even today, a decree which withdraws permissions given to others inadvertently, quite often, just simply withdrawing them. And that's working on an energetic level. It's very powerful and very simple. Other things, like, I'm looking over here because I've got my screen open, discussion about individuation is more complex, but also very useful. And various other things that just all sort of link in. So hopefully what you'll get at the end is a kind of toolbox that you can pick things out of and go, yeah, like that, don't like that. I'm hoping you will like something, of course, otherwise I wouldn't bother doing this. And I will be delighted if you do. Any questions, let me know. And yeah, that's it for now. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.